Like that. All right, so you remember this drawing from last week, I'm certain. Move this a little closer. Have the thing attached, corded in my WebEx. Okay. All right. So I've seen some drawings that some of you have sent to me, and that is nice to see. And so far, what I've seen looks accurate. There are a few things I would like to address here. And if you have specific questions for me, then please tell me. Oopsie, I want to get my pencil here. I need a darker one. Lots of pencils. There. Okay. So a reminder, a review here with 1 and 2 point perspective. You have a horizon line that is assumed to be eye level. So horizon line and that is eye level. Vanishing point. So can someone tell me what the vanishing point is for?
That's the place where all the lines recede.
Excellent, thank you. So the vanishing point is this point of convergence. So where you have parallel edges that are receding, it's the point of convergence for parallel edges that are receding from you. And in 1 point perspective, the view assumes that here is like in plan view. Cut that off there. If you're looking here, so this is a plan view of a person. This is head and shoulders of a person looking straight ahead. Like this view of this highway is like it's receding straight away from you. And so these parallel edges that are receding are just going directly, they're receding directly in front of you, which is different than 2 point perspective, which assumes that you're seeing it at an angle. So that hopefully, if you you know what plan view is, and you've seen and even created floor plans. Hopefully, that little graphic is clear to you. This is like an old-time drafting little icon for a person in a plan. All right. So then 1 point perspective is there. I've got objects receding. I'm going to take this out. I feel like that's a little bit limiting to have that. I keep wanting to put things away from them. I'm just going to leave that division right there. So with 1 point perspective, you start with a flat rectangle from the top and the bottom, this is receding to this. And if you need to, if I know that it's just like tipping over. Bigger eraser, everybody. Bigger eraser. Let's use this guy instead. Let's try that again. It's a little bit better. Just trying to draw this so that it doesn't look like it's leaning over too badly. Good. The angle, when I'm looking at it, like from like sitting here, looking at my drawing at this oblique angle, I don't see it as clearly. And when I'm the screen share of my tablet, I can look at my monitor and I can see it directly from above. So I can usually see where I've got it. Like, it looks right from where I'm sitting, and then I look at the screen and I see that it's all like leaning over. So I will try to keep it from looking like it's inaccurate. It can be kind of hard if you're learning this for the first time. All right, good. And above eye level, so above eye level, it's angling down, angling up from below eye level. And if you had an object that, like, if let's say the eye level, eye level, if you're standing up, like standing might be 5'6". It's a standard height in architectural drawings for eye level. You might use 5 feet if 5'6" is for someone who's close to 6 feet tall, and so 5 feet might be a little bit more accurate. I don't particularly care which one you use, as long as you know if like when we're doing drawings later and you're setting the what the height of the horizon line is, you just need to decide, like, you'll be clear about that. All that to say, if something is exactly like, let's say my horizon line is set at 5 feet in this drawing, and I have an object sitting here that's 5 feet tall, then the top angle receding to the horizon line will just be parallel with the horizon line, which can be a little awkward. So, but that would be accurate. So if it were just a little taller, the angle would come down a little bit. And if I want to check to make sure my angles are accurate, I can do this. Pretty good. I think I'm gonna, I don't mind if they're a little bit soft in terms of like the angles, because if you're doing it freehand, then I don't expect it to look completely mechanical. Okay. Now, if I'm also, like, if I use my straight edge to do a vertical, I better make sure that it actually, that I've got the straight edge parallel to the edge of the sheet of paper, if I'm assuming that my horizon line is perpendicular to the edge like that. Because if I just like decide like, if you use a straight edge and you assume that it's just going to be, that's going to be correct, you may be wrong. Because if you just like throw it down and like do something like that, and you got a nice straight line that's angled out, it's just going to be more obvious that it's inaccurate. So you don't have to, I mean, really the way you might, if you really had to know, you would like measure from the edge of the paper here and here to make sure that it's nice and straight. Far more efficient to just draw it freehand, because I don't know, I think I want you to draw freehand as much as possible, because I want you to get comfortable with controlling your drawing without needing to use a straight edge. You know, the way drawing is still used in design practice is really just as a communication tool in talking to someone about what they want, and the ability to just sketch something out that's close enough, or looks decent. That's more important than making sure that every mark is completely precise. Okay. Do I really have to just like roll it all the way over there? All right. I really want this to look. If I move that, this comes down further than my. I'm just going to move my bottom edge down. All right. That's better. Okay. Any questions about this, what I've just done here? This is meant to be a review. Okay. So with like this object, for example, if I want to do like an alteration, let's say I have like I'm going to cut this like chunk out of it. I've got a new corner here, a new corner here. And then that comes out of it. So this is the front edge, this is the back edge. I might just approximate like there's another curve there, and I can start to get something that looks like it's this. Kind of like that. Now, if I wanted to know how far in does this come in there, I'll need to find I'm going to go to the bottom of the form, so this back edge. So the hidden edge, this is where it's convenient. It can be helpful to know where, like, I guess it's useful to be able to know where the back edge is that's hidden. From this right, so as far in as it comes here, I will go down to the bottom, back in along the bottom of it to the vanishing point. Where it intersects the back corner there, I would go up, and I did get that about right. And then just, trying to imitate this curve in the back and make it match this approximately. Smudgeroo there. Okay, cool. So this is like you might find furniture that's got that kind of like a sort of a cavity cut through a volume like that. More likely you're going to have something that's, maybe like, let's see. To enlarge this so you can see. Well, if I want to create this, just a second here. All right. Just a minute. Okay. All right. There. Right there. And I think what I will do is make legs for them like that. Here, if I create this like, cavity underneath, or just like make a leg, this like solid piece that comes down like this, I need to show that there is an interior surface right there, because then I can see the leg. This goes to the vanishing point. This is horizontal. These go to the vanishing point. Over here, I would have another horizontal that, like if this is the width of this one, I could go to the vanishing point there. And then it would, where this comes through and intersects the horizontal, that would give me the width of that new surface right there. I think in this case, my back corner for the far corner is behind this leg, so I wouldn't see I really don't think I would see the fourth leg on that. So that is I guess that's kind of like, I know I've seen a few of you have sent me some drawings, and I've seen like some of like like drawing a simple table that this interior surface on the like that created leg is sometimes missing, and that's actually a common error. So if you did that, don't worry about it. Just work on the correction. Okay. I'm going to review 2-point perspective, and then I'm going to want to look at drawings that you did and see where your drawings are at. I just need to do one thing here that I neglected to do. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to stop that. Okay. 2-point perspective. Oh, I'm going to get my tablet back here. Sorry about that. Good. All right, a little bit wobbly on my horizon line, but good enough. Where's my, make sure that my 2-point, my other point, so this is the right vanishing point, left vanishing point. You don't always have to label those if you know your right and your left, but sometimes, like later on when we're doing something more complex, like projection drawing, there will be other, you might need to mark like which are your vanishing points. 2-point perspective. Does anyone? So we started with a 1 point. You start with a flat rectangle. How do you begin with 2-point?
With the center line?
With a vertical line. So the vertical line represents the corner that's the closest to you. Where am I? There you go. All right, so your 2-point view, you're looking at an object. So here's your plan view of you looking at an object that's sitting at a diagonal. And so if you're drawing two-point perspective like that, there and there. Okay, so that will look like it is an object sitting logically in space. 2-point perspective often looks a little bit more realistic because it's really how we see things more often. 1-point perspective can seem to be a little bit artificial. But you start with that vertical line, and then from the top and the bottom of the vertical line, you're drawing to the vanishing point. On the left, you're drawing to the vanishing point on the right. That's the right, that's the left. I know my right and my left, really. If I shade that to show the edge and some volume. And as far as cast shadow is concerned, right now we're not going to worry too much about that, but if I shade this surface, I might just have that, a little bit of shadow over to that side. Okay. Object, like a taller object, like if this is taller, you can see that the closer I put it, the closer it gets to the horizon line, the farther away it's going to seem to be, because then I'm starting to create the appearance of like ground surface here. Okay. Good. So now I'm going to try that same alteration. With the making legs on this thing. So here, I've got that there. Okay, that's a little awkward. The line here is not supposed to go to this corner, but because of the height and the width of it, it just kind of like it's going very close to that. That's coincidence. I'm also going to be like making that shorter so I won't actually have it. But the top of this coming down, when it reaches, extend that top alteration of like the edge of that all the way to the corner, and then you reverse direction over to the right vanishing point. So this is coming from the left vanishing point. That's turning and going to the right vanishing point on that right angle. I'm going to approximate that. And that is a little awkward. I'm going to just like make it look right. That's good. Okay. Take that off, make that surface look more solid. Kind of like that. Is it helpful to see me do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Good. Make sure that I'm not just doing something completely redundant. I think that, it's understanding, this sort of perspective works a certain way, or that it is, a certain kind of representation is, not that hard. But how to apply it just takes practice. So I would recommend that you practice doing, something like this. Longer straight edge. And if I want to check my angle right here, I can tell this is like I'm kind of bending it, and I'm not even straight to the horizon line. It's going to actually hit up here, so I'm going to miss it. So if I put my pencil on the vanishing point and then pivot the straight edge off my pencil, which is on the vanishing point, and bring it to the corner I'm drawing from, then I can get a much more accurate line. That's so. I mean, if I'm always taking my straight edge and trying to like this one and then this one and then this moves, if I just put it there, this isn't going to move unless I don't hold it down strongly enough. And then I move that, and then I can do that. So it's just a way of making this a little bit more efficient for you. See, look at that. Oops. There. Make that there. Yeah, I want to be careful using a straight edge. If you don't have this on a drafting table with a Mayline bar, and so you can set a triangle down on the horizontal bar and make sure that your verticals are all perpendicular to the horizon line. You kind of have to approximate it, but again, just be cautious with your verticals so that you don't have your straight edge angling out like that, and then you get some weird angle that's going to just make everything look wrong. Just by sight, I can put my straight edge here, just like taking this drafting scale, and just approximate parallel with that line. So I can see that more clearly. Here, if this is farther away, it's harder for me to approximate that angle. So I might just do this side. So that's nice, that sort of fits there. Oopsie. There. So, before I put this straight edge down and sharpened up all my angles, it looked okay. And it might not be that. I gotta do that. That's better. Just kind of here. This may be, I don't want to make this too soft. Make sure my edges are a little bit more decisive. Okay. And here, it's actually there. Oh, boy. Yep. That's good. So, I might have a little bit of shading under here. Yeah, if I have this surface like on the right side in shadow, it's kind of assuming that somewhere out here is a light source. Make a happy sun, angling down toward it. You don't have to like decide that there is a specific and single light source. Most of the time, I think in interior spaces you often have multiple light sources, ambient lighting, and so you wouldn't want it to look like there's this like bright stage lighting everywhere. But if like if you have something like a wind, like if this is like inside, no, that slipped. Dang, see, you got to make sure your straight edge doesn't slip on you too. I put like an edge here. And then I have like I'll just put like a window there. There's like floor to ceiling window. And there's like there's some mountains way in the distance. Good. This making sense? Not bad. I mean, I might have something like that. But you like to create, just as I go, I'll talk more about this as we go. But if I have this there, I've got the object. If it's parallel to the walls, then the walls would be drawn using the same vanishing points. Yeah. Then I might have I thought to do that because it made me think like, well, if I had a window here, then I would have a reason to have a shadow going this way. But I wouldn't overdo. Sometimes it can be tempting to want to really like know exactly what the shadows would look like, how they would fall, and usually the depiction of the interior in terms of like the design of the furnishings, the the space that that it matches a floor plan. That's usually the more important matter. Okay. All right. Any questions about this 2-point?
Nope.
All right. I would like to see, does anyone have a drawing, like drawings we can look at as best we can, if you can like hold them up or something like that. Hmm?
I'll do it.
Great,
Like
thank
the
you.
drawings that we turned in?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to,
I back up or
let's see. I'm gonna have to change the way I have my layout so I can see that more clearly. Okay. Little back a little bit. Okay. Little farther back. Great, thank you. So I think I can see it pretty well. It looks like your perspective is accurate. Do you have any questions about it?
um like not really like when we move beyond just making right angles, I'll have a lot of questions,
Okay.
but
Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Thank you.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
thank you. Um, the let's see here. Let me get this back to the grid here. So, Hope, I have a question for you. I have the drawings that you sent me by email. Um, I I downloaded one of them and I put it into like the Procreate on my iPad, and I wonder if you would mind if I like make some like bring it up on my iPad and then maybe show you some places where some corrections can be made.
That'd be great.
I don't mind at all. Go right ahead.
Thank you. All right. So here, let me get this guy out here. All right. And I'm going to bring up the. Okay. Share the iPad. There it is. And the pencil. So here, so now that I've done that demo, you can see where you would correct the legs on this table, right?
Yes, definitely.
Good. So so this would just go to the vanishing point, and that up there. So that would just give you the rest of the volume on the leg. And I want to try that again and make that a little bit less clumsy looking. Good. So like that. I do like this, like the door open, this right here. Now, if you had like, with like this, for example, if this were like a wall and you could see like more space inside here,
Oh yeah, that looks
this corner,
good.
like, so from like, you could kind of like, not worry too much about the thickness of the wall, but like from here to the vanishing point, so you would have like something more like that. And then down from here, you might have it come like to there. Oops. There, like that. So that you would sort of like, basically you can show that this wall, that this is like a projects in, but there's space, a little space behind it. Right in here. So good. And this is also, it's also important, so that like creating volume, like if this is like a solid material, and you want to show that there's thickness to that material, you need these like two vertical edges and that's this little bit of space, like this little bit of depth that would also, go to the vanishing point. So, yeah, good. But your perspective is good. It's all like this is, 2-point perspective. It looks accurate. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for letting me show that.
Of course. Anytime.
All right. Good. So let's do camera back to there. Okay. So does anyone have any questions about the drawings at this point? About your drawings? Would you like some time to continue working on these, or would you like to go on to furniture?
I'm good with moving on.
Yeah, we can move on to furniture.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, all right. So here we are going to talk about the furniture assignment. So here, if you do need this, if you may, if you haven't seen it, I created a short video that's short enough to embed in Blackboard of how to create a thread and post images in Blackboard discussion board forum in case you haven't done it and you have questions about it. Perspective. So here is the document of this. And let me get to the sharing my screen. Right there. Okay, so here, initially the perspective drawings, using clear photographic images of furniture objects, draw 3 views of each object. I want you to do 2 different objects, which will be not including this exercise we're doing. All right, I want you to include the reference image or images that you use when you turn the work in. I want you to be able to identify the designer or the manufacturer of the furniture object. Hello, Joe. All right, and use both 1 and 2 point perspective in each drawing set. All right, and then you will, I'll demonstrate this process. We're just beginning with base rectangular form that approximates the proportions. You're also going to turn the object to different views. And so this will be good for demonstrating that you can, figure out how to draw a piece of furniture when you don't have an image of the view you're looking at. Okay. All right, so the required for the assignment would be 6 drawings total that are going to be first done in perspective, and then we'll do marker rendering of it. But first it's going to be perspective. I'll demonstrate some marker rendering next week. So 6 drawings in total, 1 and 2 point perspective, and the Cesca drawing, which is this, the Cesca chair, which is this image, is not one of them. All right, if you are here, I have in the document this embedded like a YouTube channel demonstration of me drawing the Herman Miller scissor chair, designed by Ward Bennett originally for Geiger. And here is a still of me drawing the scissor chair. But first, we're going to look at the Cesca chair. So if you would, I'm going to draw this. I'm going to share my screen of my iPad, and so I can't keep this document up. So I would like you to go to Blackboard and get this document. Or if you were to just look up on the internet, the Cesca chair, CESCA by Marcel Breuer, and you will find it in abundance. It is a well-known chair, originally designed in the late 1920s. Okay. All right. I need to see this guy here. All right. So looking at this, so the photo of this is at an angle. So I might start with 2 point perspective. Too precarious there. Sorry for this, and just keep trying to adjust this well. All right. Good. All right, so we'll just do that. Horizon line, vanishing point, and vanishing point. All right, so I've got 2 point perspective. If I try to imitate the view that I've given you in the assignment, I'll start with a corner. The entire chair is below eye level because even like the angle of the top of the back is angling up toward the vanishing point. I'll enlarge that so we can see it better. So I'm going to start with just like not shaping it for detail. I'll just bring this down, approximate the angle there, and then for the seat, there, there, there. Now I like using the Cesca chair just because it's really easy to break it down. The angle, this corner is like almost like directly below the back. And so that goes there. Now I started drawing this like a vertical down here. The length of that does not necessarily just go straight to there. That's a bit of an arbitrary line in terms of its length. So since I already do the front corner and I drew the bottom of the chair, from here I'm going to go to the vanishing point. And I might even do this to check to make sure. There. Good. Now this, in terms of proportion, that looks a little wide. I feel like the chair should be a little bit more foreshortened in terms of its depth. And by foreshortening is when you see something at an oblique angle and it seems to shorten in terms of its depth. Or just like the width of the seat. It really shouldn't look like it is, excuse me, the full width as if you were standing looking down at it. It really should be more like that, maybe. Now it looks too narrow. Okay.
Question, are you angling it as you are drawing to the back of the chair, or is it still just a horizontal line or angled line?
Right now, all of the, so like, is there one line in particular, you mean?
That last one that you just drew
This
on
here?
no, the base, the one above that.
This here?
Yes.
That's going to the vanishing point on the right.
Okay.
Sorry, I see it's just a little bit out of the, I enlarged it. It's a little bit out of your frame. But that's going to the right vanishing point. That's going to the right vanishing point. This one, all of them that are going that way are going to the vanishing point. And then the same with these, they're all going to the vanishing point. So in 2-point, you don't have the horizontal line unless you have like something that's right on that like is like the same height as your eye level.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. And then, okay, this. All right, so I kind of have to just like look at the photo of the chair and approximate that like the height versus the width of the back looks about right. And then the same thing with the seat. The seat, if you see it, like look at the pictures, like the seat curves around here. So some of this is going to get kind of trimmed off. And then I see that the structure, like the frame comes behind behind the back, and then there's a curve here. If I've got like the vertical here and then the angle that recedes to the horizon, I've got my corner here that I can use to kind of wrap that angle around. And then here I need to like curve that back a little bit. This curves here, and I want to just like curves there. I'm pushing it out like a little bit, but not much. I don't want it to go too far in front of the seat. And like, right now I'm going to come back and clean this up and make it look like this is like a solid, like a tube of metal, which is what it is. But at first I'm just using line to define, to like get my edges right. Here, there's nothing in, there's nothing there. That's just like space. Nothing here. I can take that out. So that's not bad. I can see I've got to also round the corners of the back of the seat. We get the side of that. This needs some height. I think I might just erase that. And just be a little bit more specific that there is like some thickness, that there's actually a frame on this. It's a little hard to see that the seat sits right on that steel tube, and so you'd have like a little bit of the steel tube you see underneath it. And then I just want to get this, I think this, it has this like the cantilevered seat, which is where like, this is, the seat actually like hangs out just over empty space. And then the strength of the steel is what, keeps this, is what keeps the chair intact. And then when you sit in it, your weight kind of like creates pitch. Probably not a lot of pitch, but a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm not too far. I don't want to go too far out. Like you can see, like if you go way too far out like that, that's not accurate. But sketching this quickly allows me to approximate the right proportions. This even like the width of this still might be a little bit too, like, I don't know, maybe a little too wide. The length of so you'll see like there's a difference in the length of the leg here and the length of the leg here. And that's like, it's perspective, like as it recedes, the height is going to get gradually smaller, but I'm also seeing it at an angle. And so it seems to like, it's going to vary, like the scale is going to change, like the height of that would change really quickly as it recedes. If this looks a little bit awkward, and it does a little bit, I might come in here and try just to tinker with it a little bit. And like, it might make a big difference. Like if I just move the vertical line a little bit closer to this one, just down this guideline right here, I think I can get a leg that looks more accurate. And it's not gonna move much, but it sometimes really doesn't take much of an adjustment to make a difference in perspective. Now, you'll also see down at the bottom here, the farther away I get from the horizon line, the more these angles change. And you can see there's a difference in the angle. I just go to the, yeah, actually I'm bending this a little bit. Let's see. But there is still, there's a little bit of a difference in the angle from here to here. That's accurate, and you can just leave that because it's accurate. Okay. So you can use a straight edge to check your accuracy, check your angles, and I also might want to just like approximate that my corner should probably be closer like here. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks okay. It can look like this is like, it should be farther out because it doesn't look quite stable. But if you look carefully at the chair, this back corner on the base of the chair is like almost right below the back of like this like seat back. So there. Good. Does that hopefully seems logical to you? Now that I've drawn that, I think I'm going to I just taught drawing yesterday and just did not recollect all my stuff. Okay, good.
How do we determine accuracy for like scaling it, like the width or the height?
Very good question. So with what I'm doing right here, I don't have it in any specific place. I'm not, I'm not drawing it from a floor plan. And so the scale and the proportion is really something that I'm estimating based on a photographic image.
Mm.
And that's, so it really comes down to your judgment.
Okay.
In that respect. And yes.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Yeah, so like depth in a perspective drawing is approximated, like depth and scale are approximated unless you're working from a floor plan, which I will show you, which might be a little bit challenging. I know it's going to be a little challenging without a drafting table, but I think I'm going to make some adjustments to it so that you can still make drawings of like perspective drawings of interiors that are like very like specific to like a floor plan, because then it will answer some of those questions about, how do you determine accurate depth and scale. Okay, good. This is like, so what I'm doing, I'm coming back and like giving this, like the edges of the base, like the frame of the Cesca chair, 2 lines to define a clear edge And if I get this, so I've got the end of the straight edge is over here on the right vanishing point. And then that'll help me to make it nice and clean. We'll estimate that. And then estimate that. This on the right. Okay. I've got to take like this little line out because I don't want it to look, it's a steel tube, and so I have to try to show, like, sort of soften the corner to let it look like it's actually a tube and not a rectangular base. And this does take concentration and a lot of little tiny, fine, some little fine drawing here. That's okay. That is there. If I want to create that appearance of the caning, yeah. So, drawing like this is getting a little, I'm using a soft graphite so that it shows up better for the video. But it's also making it kind of a little bit smudgy. But really, that's fine. Come in here and get this out of there. I don't have it right there. I gotta move this out. So, when I'm doing this, I'm just looking back and forth between the image of the Cesca chair and my drawing. What is it, Joe? Come here. You want to get into the bedroom? Oh, sorry. I'm going to wait a minute. All right. And, really, if you were drawing this for, let's say you have an independent, like say you have a client or you have a job working with a designer and you can draw well enough that you can make a sketch of what is being discussed in terms of, which furniture you're choosing, where's it going to go. This could be, this is maybe even more detail than you might apply, but the ability, just making sure that it's clear that it's a Cesca chair, not some other type of chair. That's kind of the important. And suggest I'm trying to do this without looking like it's polka dotted. Yeah, well, I don't know. Right now it's not, I might not be able to accomplish the appearance of that, like the caning just with a pencil, so I think I might just leave that alone. I think it might be coming up to break time. Joey says it's break time. Okay. There. Sometimes, yeah, I gotta get that a little bit. Cut that off a little bit. I think I brought that down too far. But you know, this is good enough. Like, it definitely, in perspective drawings, there's such a thing as close enough. And, you know, I could, if I did this and it were obviously like just didn't look right, then I would have to go back and correct it. And I think like at this point, it would be trying to get down to like the detail of this here. Yep. Be decisive. All right. So you can, you know, if you can do like 1 and 2 point perspective in the same drawing, you can only have 1 point perspective occur once, because 1 point is like something directly in front of you. And if you did 1 point in multiple places, that would be like you have a view in different, you know, like what's in front of you is in 3 different places, which you need 3 heads for that. But you could see like an object turned at 2 point perspective and 1 point perspective in the same space. So there, 1 point perspective. Again, if I'm going to approximate that it's like, you know, the chair is like right here, directly below the, oops. Directly below the horizon line. I'm going to try to put my 1 point drawing in there. Then I'm going to do another 2 point drawing over here and turn the chair at a different angle. Okay. I think I'm going to take, we'll take a break right now. And 15 minutes, come back, and then I would like to see if you have any questions or if you have any drawings to share. And I'm going to continue, I'm going to demonstrate how to draw this Cesca chair in 1 point perspective. And I can tell you I'm only looking at the photograph in the assignment. So I'm looking at something that's in 2 point perspective, like that view in the photo. I'm going to draw it in 1 point perspective, so I'm just going to turn it a little bit.